This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
Making everyone happy on vacation isn't easy, but you know what is? Going to Aruba. All you have to do is walk out your door to find pristine pools, relaxing white sand beaches, and an island teeming with outdoor activities that'll put a smile on any face. You won't just feel great, you'll all feel great, filled with a calmer, more peaceful vibe that radiates Aruba's warmth. And the best part is, it never fades. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your family trip at Aruba.com.
Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I get asked this question over and over again. Can two narcissists be in a relationship together? And the answer to that is absolutely. And they can be in a long-term relationship as well, okay? See, I had somebody get on one of the posts and he said, well, my psychiatrist said that two narcissists can't be in a relationship together. Well, your psychiatrist is dead wrong, okay? This is why, you guys, not everybody with with a doctorate or an MD knows what the hell they're talking about. Take it from me, I've dealt with enough psychiatrists in dealing with my son's issues with autism to know that a degree doesn't necessarily mean somebody knows what they're talking about, all right? Because I dealt with tons of them, and it wasn't except the psych nurse that got it right with my son's medications. And why was that? Because of real life experience working in these mental hospitals and knowing how these medications work. Not everything is black and white that you read in a narcissistic textbook. The only way you're going to know certain things is by experiencing it and living it, okay? And that's the difference between an influencer who knows what they're talking about and an influencer who just hears about it and thinks they know what they're talking about because they heard it somewhere else, all right? You have to have lived this to really know this, all right? And I'm going to explain this to you now about how two narcissists can definitely be in a relationship and the relationship can last. And I'm going to tell you this from personal experience of people that I know, close people that I know, all right? Some of them are family related and other people that I know, and I've seen it. Now, here's the thing, you guys. When you have two narcissists, now remember, narcissism is on a spectrum. So there's different kinds of narcissists, right? You have the overt narcissist who's very, upfront and will tell you to your face when you do something wrong. And then you have the covert narcissist that doesn't tell you what they're thinking, or they don't tell you that they're pissed off at you and they pay you back later on. So when you have a relationship and you have a relationship, let's say, with an overt and a covert narcissist, understand when you have two narcissists, generally one person is going to have more control than the other narcissist. One narcissist is going to have more control than the other narcissist. And the other narcissist, the one with less control, is going to have to modify themselves a little bit in order to survive in that relationship. And it happens. It absolutely happens. And you see that a lot when you have an overt narcissist that has a lot of control with a covert narcissist, all right? Or you have a malignant narcissist who could be violent with a covert narcissist. So what happens is this. The narcissist that is very upfront and has control, let's say a malignant narcissist with a covert narcissist, that covert narcissist a lot of times is going to be fearful of the malignant narcissist because the malignant narcissist can get violent with it. But the covert narcissist will pay them back indirectly. In other words, how do they do that? They may put a face on, they may give the silent treatment, they do it in a passive-aggressive manner, but they coexist. They coexist. So it really depends on the degree of narcissism that you have. Now, you could have two malignant narcissists in a relationship as well. And this is where you see the very, very, very violent type of relationships where cops get involved. They're putting hands on each other, okay? Because they both get physical with it. They're both controlling. They're both super jealous of each other. And, it gets bad. And those type of relationships usually break down and they don't last. When you have something like that, where you have a very violent situation, you have a malignant narcissist with another malignant narcissist, and you could have a relationship with a malignant narcissist and a covert narcissist as well, all right, where it gets bad, and then it gets to a point where the covert narcissist leaves the relationship as well. But when you have two covert narcissists together, when they first come together, there's going to be a control of power, okay? And it's when, let's say they first get married or something like that. They're going to be constantly, when they're upset with each other, they're going to be giving each other the silent treatment, okay? And whoever is the stronger narcissist that doesn't give in will have the power and the control, okay? So silence is control with a covert narcissist, and this is how covert narcissists fight, with silence. But when they're up against another covert narcissist, if that covert narcissist, needs that other person for something, they're going to have to break down. And it all depends on their needs. What is their needs in the relationship? What are they getting from each other? So in the beginning of a relationship or a marriage between two covert narcissists, there's going to be a struggle for power, okay? Who's going to have the power? And when they don't like what the other one does, they're going to grow silent, or they're not going to listen to what that other person says. Or when they're mad at them, they might have a face on. And I've seen this firsthand from people I know in my family with two covert narcissists where they went months without talking to each other, months, till one of them finally broke down, okay? And they are still married today. But see, what happens is over time, that covert narcissist, they build a little bit of trust with that other partner. They're still guarded. They still never open themselves up completely to each other, but they coexist. And then when the covert narcissists, all right, when they have a common goal, and a lot of times that common goal is money, covert narcissists will work together. Okay, narcissists work together. They're both devious. They both have a common goal. They'll back each other up if there's a third party that they are up against, okay? So that means they will gaslight the other party. They will kiss ass to somebody who has money and they'll back each other up. They'll play the victim, okay? They'll back each other up. But remember, there's always going to be one captain of that ship. Whether it's two covert narcissists, whether it's an overt and a covert narcissist, one narcissist is going to have more control than the other person, all right? Because they're more narcissistic. And you have situations where you could have a malignant narcissist and a covert narcissist, right? And let's say they have children. Now, that malignant narcissist could be very, very hard on their children. But what is that covert narcissist going to do, the other parent? They're going to be the enabler of the malignant narcissist because they're afraid. They're afraid of the malignant narcissist, so they're going to be passive aggressive. They won't talk bad about that malignant narcissist to the child necessarily because, they will side with the malignant narcissist because that's where their bread is buttered. So they can side with each other from time to time, okay? And what really makes or breaks a relationship between two narcissists is if they need each other. You guys, it's all about supply and demand, all right? And a lot of times, covert narcissists also stay married because of image. I know a covert narcissist that's married to somebody. She's miserable, but she would never get a divorce. Never get a divorce because she's worried about her image and what people would think of her if she got divorced. So she'd rather be in a miserable marriage dealing with another covert narcissist and live that phony, fake facade life of, live up to the Joneses, than to divorce him and have that stigma on her that she got divorced, okay? Because again, she's worried about image. The other thing that you got to understand when you're dealing with a covert narcissist or two covert narcissists in a long-term relationship or a marriage, they'll never let other people know that there's problems in their marriage. Never. That's why you see these couples that look like, oh, they're so in love. They're so happy. They're on Instagram. Oh, I wish I could be like them. Or you see them in Hollywood. They look so happy. They're so much in love. Oh, there is such real love. I tell the people all the time, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And then you find out 2 years later, they're getting a divorce. Why? Because they're covert narcissists pretty much most of the time, and they hide everything because they're worried about their image and what people think. They want people to think that they're in this wonderful relationship and, they've got it made in the shade. And you see this also with politicians. Politicians get married for their image, okay? They want to look like, they're the perfect all-American guy or girl, and they they want to be like the stereotypical of this is what you should be, and they hope that gets them elected. All right. Meanwhile, half of them are cheating or have mistresses or cheating on the side. Okay. But it's all a facade because, again, they're worried about their image. They stay in the relationship because of their image or because of some supply that they need. And a lot of times that supply is financial. See, a covert narcissist is going to go where their bread is buttered. Even if they're miserable in the relationship, they will stay there because it's a good thing financially for them, all right? Or they don't want to get divorced. They don't want to lose their big mansion or their house or something along those lines. But that's why a lot of times you see these people that live in affluent neighborhoods, right? You think, oh, they got it made and everything like that. And meanwhile, inside the home, there's unhappiness. There's a coldness. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying I've seen it. I've seen it in growing up, in my peers and where I grew up. You look at these $1 million mansions that they came out of, and meanwhile, it was like, who threw their wife down the stairs? Who was cheating on this one? It was a real patent place of the things that went on behind closed doors, but they put on that facade that everything was great, all right? The only time a relationship breaks down between two narcs is if another narc finds another supply that is much, much better, okay? Much, much better, and they don't care. Or if the victim narcissist, all right, the one that's really taking the abuse, gets to a point where they say, oh, you know what? It's better for me to leave. But a narcissist, again, is ruled by supply. So if the supply is good, they will hang in there. And that's why these relationships last. Also, these relationships last because the narcissist, especially the covert narcissist, is living a secret life. So they could be married to somebody and still have their cake and eat it too. They're still going out with other people. They may be having situationships with other people, and their partner doesn't know it, okay? And they stay in the marriage because it's to their benefit financially, or maybe it could be about their image. Maybe it could be about their image to their family. They don't want to get divorced because they're trying to put on that facade to their family. A narcissist is very, very worried about what their family thinks of them because usually they were undervalidated or overvalidated as a child, and they're constantly looking for their family's approval. And that's a big reason why a lot of them stay in the relationship or the marriage, all right? Again, they're worried about what people think, okay? And the way they relate to their partner would be the way they relate to anybody else, in the sense that they're still going to play mind games with each other. they're still going to hide money with each other. Two covert narcissists that are in a relationship each have secret money hidden, okay? I've seen it, all right? So, nothing's worse than a divorce between two covert narcissists, because they're going to hide every dime they have and say they have nothing and play the victim. But again, it's all about a power struggle. One of those covert narcissists is going to have more control of the other because, they don't need them as much. The narcissist that needs them will have less control, okay? So again, it's about supply, it's about control, and yes, they can stay married for long periods of time or, even die together. And you've seen this sometimes even in the old timers. You say to yourself, you may have an aunt and uncle that's still married or grandparents that are still married, and their relationship is toxic as fuck. And you say to yourself, why are they still together? They're still together because they would rather stay together and be in a toxic relationship than to have to go out there and be on their own and starting over, okay? So they hang in there. It's the new age, and, with all the information out there that, in today's world, and also with social media and the abundance of supply that is available, that makes, being in a relationship long term so hard, because there's so much more temptation today. It's so much easier to go on social media and inbox and have, these online romances, or getting on dating apps and having these online romances and meeting these people, on the sly, on their lunch hour. They're getting them mostly off, online social media, dating apps, and they have the access to them. Years ago, they didn't have the access. You would have to go out or meet them in your work or your office or something along those lines, which is a little bit trickier, although they used to do it. But today, again, the problem, you guys, in today's world, as far as relationships go, is that there is an abundance of supply. And that's why these narcissists are running with it. They don't need you. If they can get it from somebody else, you're nothing special. It's like I tell people, you could be a gorgeous, gorgeous woman or girl or whatever you are, okay? Or a handsome, handsome guy. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of gorgeous women out there and good-looking guys. You're not the only one. You go on social media, there's a ton of good-looking people. And the narcissist knows it, okay? There's a ton of people you can access that have money. And you've got these scammers from overseas getting access to that, or even internally trying to scam people overseas because they have access to the supply, okay? So that's why when you have two narcissists together in today's day and age, if they don't stay together, it's because they have that access to that other supply, okay? But a narcissist and another narcissist will stay together. There will be an internal struggle between the two of them, all right? They will have their rifts. They will most definitely have their rifts. If it's covert narcissist, it's going to be the same type of tactics and mind games. The silent treatment, the gaslighting. They're going to gaslight each other. They're going to give them the silent treatment. They're going to but again, it's the struggle of control. Who's ever the stronger narcissist will have the control, and that's the covert narcissist that can hold out the longest. It's like my grandfather used to tell my mother, the one that holds out the longest is the one that's got the power, okay? But see, I'm not for all this mindset, because I believe in communication. And, I had people in my family, like with the silent treatment, and the old timers with the silent treatment. This is the way they were raised. They punish you with the silent treatment. And, the one that holds out the longest wins. And covert narcissists will do this with their kids. They will discard their kids, all right? They will, go stone cold silent and they will leave them for dead because of their pride, okay? A covert narcissistic parent has enormous pride, and so does, any kind of narcissistic parent, whether it's malignant or overt, all right? Their pride comes before they ever will humble themselves to their children, even if that means not ever seeing their children again. Their pride comes first. And this is why narcissists can never truly love children, because their pride comes before even their own children, all right? That's the sick mindset of them, all right? Because of that very, very fragile ego. So listen to me when I tell you, they could stay together if they need each other. If they need each other and they have a supply that each one needs, yes, they could stay together, but they're still going to play their little games. And they can also work together and, be allies of each other against other family members, all right? They work as a team. They play the victims to other family for their sympathy and everything like that. So these are the kind of internal struggles. There's a little internal struggle between the two of them, unless one of them kind of, conforms themselves in order to survive. They'll conform themselves so that, they can have peace, all right? So, yeah, they can, you guys. They can, and I've seen it, all right? Because they would rather deal with that than to have that stigma and that image in front of other people of maybe getting divorced or looking like there's something wrong with them because they're divorced. They'll stay in it. They'll stay in it even if their other partner is abusing them or something like that. They will stay in it. It all depends on who's got the power, who's got the control, and what they have to earn. But see, like I said, covert narcissists will stay in a relationship because they are worried about their image and because they're worried about their financial situation, all right? They're worried about their financial situation. They will stay in a bad relationship if there's money there, rather than to say, you know what, I'm not dealing with this, I'm leaving. They would rather have the money than to go somewhere else and try to find a partner. But they're unhealthy themselves, okay? They're unhealthy themselves. And they will also play mind games with each other, all right? So it's going to be, when you have two covert narcissists in a relationship, again, you're going to have a lot of silent treatments in that house. Like if that one partner says something the other does, the other one's going to run cold, be indifferent, and again, it comes back to whoever is, the weaker partner will give in eventually if they need that other narcissist for something. So they kind of use each other. They use each other for whatever it is. For money, they don't want to change their situation and get divorced, and they don't want to split assets, so they stay together. Maybe one doesn't want to pay child support, so they stay in the relationship, all right? And they live kind of like separate lives. They live separate lives in a way, all right? So that's how it goes. And when you have a malignant narcissist, the whole household is walking on eggshells. And the other person in the relationship could be a covert narcissist, and that covert narcissist will be, silent and deadly. And it's a bad combo, you guys. The covert narcissist is going to, manipulate the malignant narcissist to get what they want as well. They may kill them with flattery, all right? Kill them with flattery because they need the malignant narcissist. Maybe the malignant narcissist is the breadwinner, so they kill them with flattery, but then they'll pay them back a little bit by being cold and indifferent at times. When you have two overt narcissists or you have two malignant narcissists, that's when it really gets combative, all right? That's when it gets combative, where you have a lot of yelling and screaming and fighting and everything like that, all right? That's where things could really snap, all right? But again, it all comes back to the supply that they need. If they need the supply, They may stay in the relationship till it eventually dissipates or one partner wants something else and leaves. But covert narcissists are the ones that really do hang on in those relationships, and they just do what they want on the side. They hang on to the relationships and they do what they want on the side. So the answer to that is most definitely a covert narcissist and another covert narcissist could be in a long-term relationship with each other. But understand this, there's not a lot of love there, okay? There is no love there, as a matter of fact. It's a coexistence between the two of them. That's what it is. It's a coexistence that they need each other for something, all right? And yes, it can last. It can most definitely last if they need each other. They're there for their needs, all right? If they don't need each other, then you know what happens with that. One leaves, all right? But it can last, all right? And I've seen it. So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, hit the subscribe button. Please share the podcast and have a great day. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.